one of the things, this on Hillsgrove, one of the things that I got from listening to you is you really never talked about the weekend. What you talked about was what he could get if he did it, and you were more personal with him, finding out where he was, rather than even like talking about the weekend or trying to sell the weekend or push it.
Right.
You kept bringing it back to him.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the issue of the moment. A little later, if he starts asking about the weekend, I might tell him some stuff.
But that's like where the fear comes up when you try to talk about the weekend when he hasn't even said he wanted to do it or interested in doing it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. We're not trying to convince, not trying to change his mind. Not withholding the information either.
Well, that brings up a question for me. How do you handle men's questions when they say, well, what happened at the weekend? What are they going to do? What's the content of it?
Well, first of all, it's confidential, the weekend itself. And that does a couple of things. It preserves the personal safety of the people in the weekend. It's okay for you to cry or, call your father a son of a bitch or whatever you might do, knowing that it's going to be confidential. And the other thing is the weekend is a series of events and conversations. And like a good movie, you don't want to know what the surprise is going to be because there are surprises. So one thing I like to advise people is don't look it up. You can look it up on the internet and find out a whole bunch of information, some of which is true and some of which is completely crazy and not true. Don't do that. Just go have the experience, right? And, if you're going to look it up, then we're done with the conversation because the weekend's got to do with you trusting men. And so, and with that said, it is a series of events and conversations that are designed to provoke whatever is difficult for you about being a man and about other men. So if other men piss you off, you're going to be pissed off in the weekend. In my case, I was terrified. Why? Because I was terrified before I walked in there. It's just a high-stress environment that brought that to the surface for me. That's all. So...
So I have a question, a little off topic, but are you aware of Jim Belushi's book, Real Men Don't Apologize?
Yeah, I got the book.
Have you ever had occasion? It seems like that could be a helpful resource if a man had either looked things up on the web or thought it was a cult or whatever, to be able to say, well, look, Jim Belushi did it. He recommends it.
Yeah, anything's a possible resource, I guess.
Okay.
I wouldn't go there unless I would sort of had to, but see, the thing about enrollment is that you're the person doesn't know anything about whatever workshop you're talking about. They're going to enroll in you. So all the talking about the workshop and what they might get out of it and stuff is a smokescreen over the relationship that's being created between you and this person.
I can see how, just as we speak, and I'm imagining just how easy it is to get attached to a particular man doing it.
Yeah.
And then I become like a limpet mine,
Yeah.
You're not getting away.
How can we get this? Yeah, no.
And by keeping the larger context in mind of the 300 million men that are going to do it, it's like, okay, maybe this man will later, maybe he won't, but I'm actually, in the time I spend with him, I might be able to get too many to register the 300 million.
Right.
I mean, that's sort of just a way of thinking of it in terms of what the higher goal, the higher purpose here is. It's not for any one man, unless it's particularly important to you in your life, I suppose.
Yeah.
But,
I learned somewhere, actually from the Landmark Enrollment Program, that relationship is created. It's something that you just bring to the table. It doesn't come from somewhere. So it's possible to create relationship once and for all. You can say, all men are my brothers. That's one way to do it, okay? So they're all my brothers. This man that I just met is my brother. You just haven't met him yet. So then I'm interested in him and I'm on his side. And I'm actually bringing some information that I have to benefit his thinking. And, you know, he thinks that I'm a, quote, stranger. So I can't transfer over that, but I can know that he's already my brother. Or whatever spiritual context you have for that. So it turns out if you approach people in that way, you know, you just take on that you're already, there's nothing to, we don't have to go to college together for 4 years or, you know, get to know. Men are immediately related if you just let it happen. And men have a natural thing where they try to like each other. You put two men together, first thing they're going to do is try to find a way to like each other. Anybody. So let yourself do that and let him do that. He's trying to find a way to like you. And liking is mostly similarities. So, you know, we're both into golf, or we're both from Connecticut, or whatever it is. You know, we're trying to find a way to like each other. That's the important thing that's going on. And the conversation about the weekend is just content. But he enrolls in you, and it's important to be responsible for that. In order to do this and be successful at it, you know, it's a curse, but oh well, you're going to have to feel good about yourself.
And what I'm getting, which is the challenge for me, is I'm going to have to feel good about myself, even if a man says he doesn't want what I have, in effect.
Right. That happens a lot. You know, my wife's a singer. I'm not going to go sing. So,
yeah.
You know, what you got?
A lot of times in certain contexts, we keep it personal. I know my experience is whatever, and there's also the element of speaking about the man's issues.
Right.
Opposite of keeping it personal for me. So is there an element? I guess you just need to feel out as you go along with that man, but
keeping it personal as a way to avoid preaching. Okay, that's good. But it's not personal. It's not about you at all. It's about him. You're irrelevant. You know, you're a billboard saying this way to the men's weekend. It's very not personal. And then to the extent that you bring your own stuff in, maybe a circumstance arises where you can share something that would clarify or calm some fear or provide some information. But that's just a service.
that would be an answer to a question you would ask you probably, though, right?
It's so not about you.